Tom Johnson began his journalism career at age 14 in Macon under the famed publisher Peyton Anderson.
I needed a job, and at that point there were two things you could do. You could work sacking groceries in a grocery store, or you could work on a newspaper. People at age 14 were exempt in working for a grocery store or a newspaper. And my ninth grade English teacher recommended a position on the Macon paper as a sports stringer.
He had already caught the eye of the publisher of the Macon Telegraph and News, the owner of the Macon Telegraph and News, a guy named Peyton Anderson.
Peyton Anderson, I guess, is one of the greatest heroes of my life. He said that he would provide a financial aid scholarship for me to attend the University of Georgia, provided that I would continue to work. So I commuted between Athens and Macon during most of my 4 years at the University of Georgia.
Even at that point, we all sort of recognized that he was not going to be the guy working at the desk next to us in the newsroom, that there were bigger things in mind.
The publisher helped Tom go to Harvard Business School, and later he was able to get a White House fellowship under President Lyndon Johnson. He followed President Johnson to Texas in 1969 and managed his Austin TV station. Then he pursued his journalism in Dallas as publisher of the Times-Herald, and then to Los Angeles as president and eventually publisher of the Times. He returned to television when he was tapped as the successor to CNN President Burt Reinhardt at an historic moment in 1990.
Well, I arrived at CNN on August 1st of 1990. Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait the next day.
So one of Tom's first meetings with CNN founder Ted Turner was to make his case for money to cover a war.
He looked back at me and said very simply, "You spend whatever you think it takes, pal. You spend whatever you think it takes, pal." And he said, "Let me worry about the numbers."
But overseeing CNN's groundbreaking coverage of the Iraq War is not the only significant contribution Tom has made.
Nothing that I have done in my life has been any more important than my involvement in the mental health field. Depression hit me, and hit me hard when I was about age 45. I kept it very secret for quite a while. I resisted going and getting to a psychiatrist for a while. It took Edwina, my wife, really just almost forcing me to go. And for these last several years, I found it was so important for those of us who have dealt successfully with depression. I don't use the word cure, but have dealt successfully with depression, I think, to go public so that we can do a better job of trying to erase the stigma that exists.
Johnson has also been influential in the success of the Atlanta Press Club, which was struggling when he arrived.
At that point, we didn't have any involvement from CNN, and we had lunch over at CNN Center at the American Cafe, and Tom was able to help us recruit CNN members, but it didn't stop there. He emptied his Rolodex for the Atlanta Press Club. Every annual meeting, "Tom, we need a speaker," and he was there, and whether it was Brian Williams, he's brought us Colin Powell, he's brought us David Petraeus, you know, Judy Woodruff. I mean, the list goes on, the brightest stars in the business.
Every major city should have a press club. There should be a club where the media organizations can come together to talk about such issues as press freedom, about open records, to try to work together to open up the private records of the city council, of the county government, of the state government, and the others. It should be a place where we come together to recognize excellence between us.
Tom Johnson, president of CNN from 1990 to 2001, a courageous advocate for mental health and for helping the Atlanta Press Club thrive.